What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Now, listen, guys, I want to jump into this. You guys might have heard this story about a journalist, and I use that term loosely, Jason Whitlock. Okay, Jason Whitlock has decided the best thing for him to do today was to jump out of the window by blaming what happened to Tyree Nichols on single black women. Yes, you heard right. Single black women. Those three words these days are like a powder keg. But right off the bat, I want to give a big old shout out to my man Anzo from Biggerford Entertainment for making me aware of this particular story. Anzo gets a lot off his chest on his channel. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. If you want to check him out, that boy is a fire! But big shout out to him, guys. Now, I want to get into exactly what it was that Jason Whitlock said because it is causing quite a firestorm, and I do have some opinions on that. Not all of them are going to go the way that you think they will. So let's check out, first of all, what he said. We're going to play this audio here because this is a low-budget operation I got going on here. You're looking for video? Go somewhere else. Check it out.
Young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all times because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. Young black men.
Okay, check this out, all right? This dude sounds like a jackass, but like right off the top, let me just point something out. It sounds like he is also implying that Tyree ran from the cops because he did not have a strong black male role model in his life. Just about at every press conference that you see Tyree's mother, you see his stepfather there. All right, so I'm not sure what you're seeing there, Jason Whitlock, but you're off base right away with that one. He ran. Now listen, let me just make this point too, guys, because a couple of you in the comment section pointed out that he did run. Now, you heard me say this many times. Running from the cops is never a good thing to do. This has got to be the one example that I've seen where running from the cops I actually understand, because unless something happened before that footage starts, they rolled up on that man like rabid dogs, and they were being all types of aggressive, and they were already fucking him up, beating him down and all that stuff, pepper spraying him, tasing him. Then they tased each other. No, they pepper sprayed each other. And when he had the opportunity, he was just like, oh no, to hell with this, I'm out. Now, I think most of us would do the same thing. Clearly, these guys were not being rational. They weren't being reasonable. That kid got out of the car, or that young man, 29 years old. I hate people calling him boy or kid. I'm sorry. But he got out of the car and he said, okay, I'm getting on the ground. He didn't just bolt. He bolted when he realized these motherfuckers are crazy. I got to go. All right. And keeping in mind, he was a few feet away from his home. All right. So he's calling out for his mother, by the way. All right. Jason Whitlock, you're talking about mothers, black mothers. He's calling out for his mother, who he loves very much. Okay. And he ran. All right. He was panicking. These guys were whooping his ass. He believed they were going to kill him. And lo and behold, they were. All right. So let's take that off the table right now. All right. The reasons why he ran. It wasn't because he was raised by a single black mother. He ran because he was in danger, or felt like he was in danger of being killed, and he was right. Okay. So now getting into this single black mother thing. All right. Now, you guys know on the last video, you heard me say a couple of things. All right. You heard me say that all 5 of them, they jumped on him like a pack of girls. You heard me say that, right? It's like, because I was making the point that girls, a lot of times, they're very vicious in the way that they fight. If you've ever seen a girl fight, you know what I'm talking about. They go for your jugular. I'm just saying, all right? But I made that observation, all right? I also made the observation, all right, that it's never an excuse for a grown man to point out that he was raised by a single black mother, or he was raised without a father, because those are actually two not necessarily the same things. All right. What Jason Whitlock is trying to do is conflate two separate issues. All right. You want to talk about single black mothers? You can talk about single black mothers that are not above being criticized, contrary to popular belief. However, single black motherhood is not the same as fatherlessness. Okay. Because listen, my ex-wife is a single woman, but guess who is in his son's life? All right. His son lives with me. My son lives with me. I would never turn my back on my son. I never would. You know, I don't care if me and his mom are divorced. All right. Fatherlessness is its own thing. So even though the mother might be single, there's a father somewhere, right? And the father has to have it within his heart, in his mind, in his soul, that he's going to look out for his child. So why should a single mother's child also be fatherless unless the father actually has nothing to do with that child? Now, we can talk about the mother's ability to choose a good man. All right, that's a whole separate thing. Like I said, we're talking about a bunch of different issues right now. But when it comes to what those 5 grown men did to that other man, those 5 grown black men did to that other black man, there can be no distraction from their accountability at all. And Jason Whitlock, you doing this on a national platform is disgusting. It's embarrassing. This is the reason why when some black women disagree with me, they come in so like, ugh! They tell me they wish, like I said on my last video, they wish that my mom had aborted me. It's because of men like you, Jason Whitlock, because we have to be able to stand for ourselves. That's the reason why I gave the point in the example of the Million Man March back in 1995. We take accountability for ourselves. It's a weak man indeed who points to a woman for his excuses about why he does terrible things or why he fails. It's embarrassing that a man would do something like that. You are accountable for your own actions. And for him to say that the way he did is just all types of wrong. It's out of line. Like I said before, we can have that discussion about what ails the black community as far as parents and parental guidance and things like that. But those 5 black men had to go through a police academy. Do you understand? Even if they were raised by single black mothers, a lot of young men get into the service. They get into the police department, the fire department, the police athletic league to sort of compensate, to find mentors, you know, things like that. So when you're going through the police academy, you have to have training, you know. So once again, we come right back to that, the training that these officers, so-called officers, received or did not receive. It gets to the problem now. It gets to the point of like, who is judging who's putting on this uniform? Like, who's fit to serve? You know what I mean? Like, it's irrelevant at this point that they were raised by single black women or that they were they had no father in their lives. You know what I mean? As far as I know, there were no single black women on that corner when they were whooping that black man's ass to death. So to even bring that up in this context is dishonest, it's disingenuous, it's cowardly, it's embarrassing, and you, Jason Whitlock, are just as bad as those 5 officers because you don't want to take accountability for what's lacking in our manhood. You understand the dynamic that's going on here? You have to be able to stand up as a man and say what's right and what's wrong. You have to be able to have that accountability for yourself without deflecting. That's the reason why you heard me say on the other video, I'm not trying to deflect to white people. This is the reason why I said, black men, this is the time for us to be speaking. But this isn't what I was talking about, of course, when I said that. But, you know, everybody can't agree. But this take is just... it's embarrassing, like I said before, that a black man would actually fix himself to say in this context where clearly black men did what they did to that other black man, that somehow single black women, and you disrespect the black woman who's running the department as well. I don't even know if you know her, man. Why would you disrespect her that way? It's wrong. It's wrong. We're supposed to be supportive of one another. I have a sister, I have a mother that I love very much. Both of them are highly educated. My sister is a lawyer, she's an author, she's a mother, she's a wife. You know, my mother, of course, is my mom. She worked in the court system. She was an executive. She's a college professor. I love them both. They're both very, very strong women. They've been through a lot. A lot of black women have been through a lot. They've been run down in this world. Even though they don't believe in us so much anymore, we have to give them something to believe in. We have to give them a better choice of man. We have to make them see us. And it's not going to happen when you're doing things like this. All you're doing is sowing the seeds of division. And that's what people like this are there for. They're not of us. They're the enemies of us. They're the betrayers of us. We have to figure out for ourselves which way we want to go with this. Black men, we have to do this. We can't look to anybody else to understand the dynamics behind what happened out there. And there's a lot of different theories that I hear coming out. It's very interesting. I'm not going to talk about it on this video, but I just wanted to reach out, guys, and just clarify a few things, because I did talk on the last video about, you know, the officers fighting like girls, and, you know, and how you can't look to being raised by a single black mother, you know, to justify your childish, murderous actions. Jason Whitlock, you should be ashamed of yourself. And on behalf of black men everywhere, you know what? I'm not going to go there because I can only speak for myself. I almost misspoke. I can't speak for everybody, all right? But as a decent black man, one who wants to see a positive change, one who wants to bring about the concept of self-accountability and growth, I am ashamed of you, and I condemn your statements. All right, guys, you can get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about Jason Whitlock and what he had to say. Do you agree to some degree about what he's saying? Do you find some truth in it? Do you think that it doesn't have any place in this particular context, though, as I do? Get in the comment section and sound off, guys. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.